Okay, most of you that have done classes before, done the workshops before, you'll know these exercises. But for those that don't, we're going to start with 5 directional, kind of a loosening exercise. The origin of these is a seitai in Japan, and this is a kind of body in order exercise, or putting the body in order. And this is the kind of first step in terms of feeling the whole body, is actually feeling the directions in the body. The first one, the most fundamental, is the vertical line through the body. So all I want you to do is stand nice and relaxed, feet shoulder width apart, and you just want to start to move in a vertical line. So keeping all the joints loose. Use these in 2 ways. One's for awareness through the body, and the second's to loosen the body just before, as a kind of preparatory exercise. I want you to keep all the joints loose and just really focus on a vertical line that runs through the body, and just move in this direction. Just start nice and gently, really drawing the body up and down. And this is the primary direction. Everything we do is based on this vertical line. So the up and down, which is basically our relationship to the ground and gravity. So this is the fundamental one. Just really feel. Really bounce the body. Make sure all the limbs are loose, especially the arms. So in all these exercises, the arms really aren't used. So these aren't really functional exercises. These are really just loosening body awareness. And then just start to experiment a little bit. You can start to leave the ground, basically jumping up, coming out of the toes fully. And you can start to also plant the feet on the ground and just kind of vibrate through the body. So you can play with these 2 kind of things. A full movement up and down, just basically jumping, leaving the ground and sinking down. And the second one is really just vibrating, kind of pulsing through the body. Just explore these 2. Just nice and keep everything loose. That's it, good. Nice. Okay, good. So we go to the second direction, which is the front and back, or the frontal direction. What I want you to do in this case is keeping the feet down in the same position, just rocking the body forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. In terms of the seitai work, we do it a little bit differently, but in this case, I want you to just explore moving from the chest this way. So really motivate the movement from the chest, from the back, and then the kind of the back of the rear of the shoulder blades. And again, just allow the arms to be loose. It's tempting in this case start to activate the arms, but really just let them loose, like they're really thick, heavy ropes, and just sway the body backwards and forwards. Roland, good. That's it. Good. Okay. And in this exercise, it's kind of tempting. One of the things to do is to kind of curl the shoulders and then open the shoulder blades out. What I want you to do is just feel the width through the shoulders, and then just keep it as you go. So don't have a sense of curling. Just have the sense of width through the shoulders and just sway back and forward. Allow the knees to really work as well. So what I don't want you to do is lock the knees and just kind of move the chest, but involve the knees in it. So even though the chest moves first and motivates the movement, the whole body follows. So one part moves, every part goes. And just pay especially attention, in this case, to the feet. So where the weight is being shifted forward into the toes and then back into the heels. And if you like, you can explore, in this case, really taking the body too far, out of balance. So the other way you can use these exercises as well as loosening exercises as a balancing, which is basically bringing the body back into a full sense of balance. So you explore that by going out of balance and really feel what that feels like. Backward, forward. Good. Okay. The next direction's lateral, so side to side. And this is just a nice and easy swaying this way. In this case, the exercise moves down kind of to the rib cage here. So have the sense that the torso is really going to sway over to the side. Again, keeping the arms nice and loose and just allow them to be dragged by the body. So really a side to side movement. Swaying over one foot and then over to the other. Again, in terms of balance work and footwork, your connection to the ground, just be really conscious of the weight placement in the foot. In this case, you're kind of going into the edges of the foot on either side. Good. Good. Just nice and gentle, rolling through it. Good. Okay, so two things in this one. Be careful. The first one is of twisting. What I don't want to do in this case is twist the body as you do it. So don't do a compensation by twisting the body. And the other thing, don't collapse the body as you go over. So don't kind of collapse the structure as you go over. Keep it long, wide, and really roll it to the side this way. And be careful of twisting it. And be careful of collapsing it. So really allow this whole torso section to be long here and just roll to the side. Roll to the side. Think of both sides extending over as you go. So both sides in full extension. So as you move one side, also be conscious of the other. It's really about feeling both directions as they move. We have really a tendency to just go to one direction, go to the front. But really you've got to include the front, the back. And in terms of sideways, lateral work, the right and the left all the time. Try and really feel both sides full. Good. Okay, the next move you'll be really familiar with, we do it all the time, is just a rotation move. So in this case, moving down to the hips, really just coiling through. And just keep the arms very light. We tend to do this exercise quite a lot in Aikido. So sinking the weight down. So. Good. Okay, and in this one, in terms of coordinating the body, you just think in terms of looseness and hardness. And what you want to do is be somewhere in the middle. So you want to be soft and flexible. You don't want to be overly loose. So you don't want to be like this. But you also don't want to be rigid and hard. So what you want to do is something in between. So in this case, if you're too loose, then the structure has no real, it's like there's no skeleton in it. It's just kind of jelly. This is okay, and this is preferable to the hard level because hard's super hard to get out of. So in this case, just try and find a middle ground. The loose is good, but try and really go to a level that's kind of soft, but connected. Everything's moving together, and the structure's not coming out. So you're not kind of leaning out of the structure, but you're sinking the whole structure down. You should feel all the time heavy in this case. The moment I start to feel light, this is where I'm kind of working out of balance. You want to feel kind of heavy. The arms sinking down. Okay, good. Okay, the last direction, we've done vertical, up, down, frontal, front, back, lateral, side to side, rotational, hips this way. In this case, the last one is inside, outside. So in this case, this is a kind of wave that rolls through the body. You can think of this in inside, going inside the body and then coming out. Or you can think of it in terms of closing down the body and then opening it out. And this is really what you're looking for. In this case, is a wave through the body. So again, arms loose, curl in the body and then curl out. Really allow the movement, in this case, to travel from the core of the body, really into the core and then out from the core. And in this case, the movement's actually coming from the pelvic, the underfloor, yeah, this way. So really get a sense the body's going to close down, yeah, and then open out. The whole movement's being motivated by the pelvic. And allow that movement to travel all the way up the spine and then back down. Keeping the arms nice and soft. Good. Okay, keep going. Good. 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 Okay. So this movement actually is quite hard to find and do it well. And it's the best way to do it is find big movements and then start to make them small. So start to concentrate the movement. What you're really looking for is the hip flexors this way. We have a really big tendency to move the shoulders or move the knees to kind of compensate. But in this case, what you really want to do is get access into the hips, into the pelvis, and then really manipulate it here. So you're going to really fold and flex the pelvis this way. So get a sense of from a big movement, this, what's happening, and then get a sense from a small movement. So just go big and go small, but really get a sense that it's the pelvis. The pelvis is flexing. The pelvis is flexing. When we use this kind of work all the time, when we're doing saburi work, we're doing taina henko, we're doing all these kind of movements, you want the pelvis to really be active. So really go big and go small. And really get a feeling that you're working really from the inside of the body, right at the core, and then out to the periphery. Yeah. Very nice. Great. Good. And then just following this work, just working with the pelvis. This is actually just the same exercise you've done, but I want you to really now focus on it. You're going to really just focus on this being in this position neutral and then just tilting the pelvis and then straightening the body out. This is a very small move. It's actually very hard to show, but just have a sense of tilting the pelvis and keeping the rest of the body long. Tilt the pelvis and then bring it out this way. So really just get a sense from here, the pelvis is tilted and back. Now the whole body moves with it, but it's really going to be motivated by the tilt in the pelvis. And again, I don't want to compensate by rolling the shoulders, breaking the back, or just bending the knees. So you can do this in two ways. I can lock the pelvis and just bend the knees. Or I can just bend the shoulders and break the back. But what I really want to do is keep this extension, keep the softness in the knees, and just tilt the pelvis. Tilt the pelvis. Tilt the pelvis here. That's the pelvis. That's it. Oh, it's even harder to see. Let's see. Good. Yeah, good. Okay, good. Okay, good. And even with the small moves, we go into compensation. So this and this kind of position here. Just get a sense the whole body's going to sink into the ground as you do it. So, and again, it's the same way. This looks totally unfamiliar, but in terms of the bokken work we do when we cut, or we do when we find a kokyu work, or we do when we find taina henko, it's really the sense of extension up through the spine and the pelvis flexing. Pelvis flexing. But I need to get the sense the whole body, from the head, the spine, all the way down the shoulders, is going to sink into the ground. And I don't want it to be in tension here, and I'm pressing the weight forward. So just get a sense, really this small movement, try not to do any kind of compensation work with the body. Just allow it to sink down. So just tilting the pelvis and sinking down. This way. Feels like you're doing nothing. It should feel that way as well. If I feel the body's in tension, this is kind of where my body's out of balance. So just feel that. And then come back. Good. Yeah, that's it. Good, good, good. That's it. Okay, good. The next move with the pelvis is kind of an up and down move. So I just again isolate the pelvis. It's a very small move, just here, and I want you to raise the pelvis and sink it. So one's raising and one's sinking. So very small movement. Again, keep long in the body. And again, I can make compensations and kind of just lift out through the foot. But I really want the pelvis to raise here. Yeah, and then have the sense like the pelvis is dragging the foot out of the ground. Yeah, this way. So just a kind of raise and fall, rise and fall. Really get a sense of mobilizing through the pelvis first. Sinking down and raising. Very small, subtle movement. And just feel what effect it has on the whole body. So just this small movement from the pelvis, have a sense the whole body reacts to it as well. Nice and slow.
Michael?
Yeah?
Can you please show it sideways to the camera?
This way.
Yes, please.
Right,
Thank you.
just this way. See? Oh, it's very hard. This way. So you just got to raise up, raise up, raise up.
Thank you.
Got it? Good. That's it, that's it, that's it. Okay, the last one is just a movement where it's just like a figure of 8. So it's kind of a combination of both movements. You're going to tilt and raise. And you're going to have the sense really from the pelvis, And again, see what effect it has on the rest of the body. Again, I can really heavily compensate and use the rest of the body to do these movements. But I really just want the pelvis to initiate the movement. So I really feel that the pelvis is going to create this kind of figure of 8 through. Really feel the pelvis as a whole thing, but also flexible. You've got a lot of mobility in the pelvis. Good. And again, just do small movements and then work into slightly bigger movements. Good. Nice. Good. Good. Okay, we're going to do some kind of active movements now. So this is basically just a squat. You're going to have the feet out this way, slightly wider than shoulder width here. What I want you to do, normally we do a squat to kind of go straight into it. What I want you to do is really work the pelvis. You're going to tilt it back and then sink down into the body and then come back up to neutral. What I want to do in this case is go, because we're going to do kind of 50 or so squats. What I want to do is get away from using the front and using the knees to do it. So if you go directly into it, sometimes you can get into these kind of positions. Basically, the knees taking a heavy load and the toes are taking a heavy load. What I want you to do is really balance the body and have a sense of pelvis back and then sink through the movement. And this is really activating the parts of the body that should be used to load the weight of the body. So I want you to get a sense, we're going to do kind of 50 slow. I want you to just get a sense of tilt the pelvis back and then lower down. You can use the hands as you like. Sometimes in this position is okay. Good. So just nice and slow. Tilt the back and sink down. We'll start nice and slow. 2. Tilt the pelvis, sink down. Just really load in the body in the back and really feel the ground underneath you as you do it. You'd really feel the quads, the glutes, just into the lower back. Really working the lower body. Nice and slow. Just feeling all the time the relationship to the ground. Sinking in, sinking in. Good. Good. Just keep going. I just see. Good. That's it. Nice, nice, nice. And then the last 20 or so, we're just going to speed up a little bit. So drop the weight, sink down and come back up. Now have the sense when you come back up, what I don't want to do is kind of push up off the ground. I want to sink the body down to the ground. Have the feeling all the time the weight's being drained down, down, down. We're going to go a little bit faster so that the temptation is to start to use the body in a different way, but get a sense that you're going to, again, tilt. Yeah, and then the relationship to the ground's here, down, this way. Okay, so we'll go a little bit faster, just the final 20. It goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Good. And then we're just going to do one really slow. So you're going to go down, again, tilt the pelvis, and then nice and slowly down. Super slow, so slow as you can. Sink down. You feel the lower body, the back of the body is very active. Sink down. You just hold it a little bit and feel where the weight is distributed in the body. I don't want to be forward here, especially in the toes. So I want the weight to be sinking back. Most of the pressure is in the heel. And then just slowly raise up and really feel the relationship to the ground. Raise up through it. Nice and slow. Here. And then back into full extension. Good. And then just shake it off. Hope you feel that the glutes are really working hard during this exercise. Okay, next one we'll do. These are kind of foundation exercises. So some of you have seen these, some of you maybe not. So I'll explain them kind of in detail a little bit. So the first thing is you're going to take a stance a little bit wider than shoulder width. And I want you to throw the weight of the body back, a little bit like you're falling over to the back. And the main idea in this case is to activate what's known as like the posterior muscle chain through the body. This is basically the quadriceps, the glutes, and the lower back, and then later into the lats. But what I want you to do is just throw the weight back. You're going to be in 3 points: the ball of the foot, by the big toe, and by the little toe just underneath, and then the back, the heel. So I want the weight to be distributed in these 3 points, mostly in the heel. Okay, what I want you to do is sink the weight down. Again, tilt the pelvis. What you're going to be tempted to do is by sinking the weight down, bend the knees. But I want you to not really bend the knees. I want you to sink the pelvis back down. So you're shifting the weight back. The knees, the key thing in this case is that the knees don't pass over the feet. They stay back. If you can, back towards the heel. So really on the same line as the heel. If you can even further, this is great. But the first position we're going to do is just bringing the arms to here, this position out, and just stretching back here this way. And really get the sense the pelvis is going to tilt back, the weight shifting back. And the weight is really shifting back into the heels. So the knees are bent, but they're not pushing forward, sinking back. Okay, so the arms rotating out and really expand the chest out. Shift the weight back. You should feel the lower back starts to activate really quite heavily. Okay, and what I want you to do is take 2 really deep breaths from here, with really a sense of expanding the rib cage in all directions, especially the back of the rib cage. So really get a sense, really deep breath, and expand into the rib cage. And then as you let it go, don't collapse it, keep the extension. So the out breath is as important as the in breath. Nice deep breath in. Expanding through the back. And nice deep breath out without collapsing. Now from this position, you're going to raise the hands up as high as you can, and then sink the weight back a little bit more. Sinking back a bit more, and really raise the hands up. Nice extension through the back of the neck. So again, don't collapse the structure, keep it long. It feels a little bit like the hands are pulling away from the pelvis. like a tug of war between the hands and the pelvis. And again, 2 nice deep breaths in. Keep the weight shifted back, out. Keep a sense of expansion in the back of the rib cage. And out. And then just 1 more deep breath in. And as you release this breath, bring the hands towards the ground, just by tilting the pelvis. So keeping the torso long, 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 shifting the weight back a little bit more. Long, just until the fingertips reach the ground. This position. And just touching with the fingertips, pressing back with the hip. And really get a sense now that the hands and the hips are being pulled apart. So really press the hips back. What you're really trying to do in this position is decompress the spine. Really allow it to lengthen. And again, 2 nice deep breaths in. Out. In. Out. Good. From this position, I want you to keep the left hand on the ground, and you're going to rotate up through the right this way. And I want you to really rotate the pelvis here. So the whole torso is going to roll up, reach up, and just hold it. And in this exercise, what I want you to do, hopefully you can see my left hand on the ground, press it up, and then you're in the fingertips. And I want you to have a sense of a line that runs through the fingertips here, the shoulder, all the way through the right shoulder, and stretch it up, right up. It's important in this case to keep the weight shifting back again. So nice long line through the body. Stretch it right up. And then release it. And do the same. Right hand on the ground. Raise the left hand up. Really long line through the body. And then start to raise this hand out of the ground. So you're just in the fingertip. The key is there's no real weight in the hand. Most of the weight's being shifted into the back, the heel. And really being loaded by the lower body. The lower back. Stretch this line up. Feel that when you breathe in, you make this line longer. So the breath expands the shoulders. And release it. Both hands back down. And again, just on the fingertips, just hold this position for 1 breath. Nice, deep in. Out. And then keeping the weight back, just come back to the, you're going to come up to the shins, just this position. Yeah, and really get a sense now of length through the spine. Especially through the crown, this part of the head, really lengthen this part here. What I want to do with this is collapse it this way. So really keep a sense of length through the back, pressure up. Nice deep breath in. Breath out, and just return to this original position. So a little bit higher, and you're a bit lower now than when you were originally in it. So weight shifting back, arms to the back. And now in this case, just to add a little bit more stretch, the thumbs externally rotate them. So rotate them away from the body. This way. And really get a sense of opening the shoulders, the whole top of the rib cage. Nice deep breaths in. Keeping the expansion as you breathe out. Good. And you're going to come to this position with the arms just under the chest. And all I want you to do is rock the torso here. So keeping this long, and the pelvis is just going to lift down and then raise up. We're just going to do 10 nice and slow. So keeping the weight shifting back, just sink down. Let all the movement come from the pelvis. And really feel the lower body taking all the weight of the body. So the lower back should really be active, totally active. Maybe shaking a little bit by now. Just raise it, sink it down. The key is really keep this extension. Nice and slow, tilt from the pelvis. Just allowing the pelvis to tilt in isolation, away from the knees tilting, bending. So really allowing the pelvis to take the work. Something we lose when we sit down all day, driving or working on a computer. It's really allowing the pelvis to do the work. And sink it down. Good. And come back up nice and slowly. You feel the whole lower back probably shaking a bit like this. So just shake the body off, loosen the lower body. If you feel it here quite strongly, this is good. You're doing the exercises right. If you feel it in the knees and in the shins, this is kind of, you're working in kind of the wrong area. So if you really feel it here, which you should do, the kind of exercises force you into this position. But this is good. So this is basically the kind of the chain of musculature that you want to really use. And whenever we do movements like the suburi, Kainahenko, Kokyuho, these kind of movements, you're really using this area of the body. So these are the strong muscles that we use to connect our weight or power through the ground and into the other person or into the weapon, through the weapon. So this is the area we want to work in. And we want to work away from the front of the body and the upper body this way. So it's really getting a sense of the back and the muscles that should be used and the muscles that should be kind of primed for movement as we do it. So we'll just end with some really simple movements just from a right hand knee. I just want you to explore just rolling into a posture here, just coming in and out this way. And just be really sensitive now, the lower back and the pelvis. And really allow all the movement through it, nice extended torso. Just swing the body in and sink the weight down if you do it. So pelvis nice and flexible, but the feeling really sinking down firmly into the ground. So you should feel really solidly connected. And you should feel that the proper areas of the body are really the back of the body is really initiating down. So just nice and easy. Allow the body to come in and out, left side, right side, hammy. Really feel the relationship to the ground through the feet and the ability to pass that feeling into the hips whilst keeping the upper body extended. Okay, keep going. That's it. Good. Okay, the other side of this is feeling the whole body as a total. Feeling the relationship to the ground is the other side of it. So what a lot of us do is we kind of exist as if we live on the surface. So we exist like we live here. But I want you to really feel that your weight sinking down, your relationship to the ground is much deeper. So really feel that when you do this kind of movement, you press the weight of the body through the ground this way. So you can now just bring the hands into it because this can kind of help. But get a sense of the weight shifting down, so draining the feeling down. So as much as I have a feeling of the whole total body up, stacked onto the ground, I want to feel that relationship of how it relates to gravity sinking down through the ground. So have a sense almost like a mirror image of yourself, or like in a pond or in the water, coming up this way. So as much as you can extend your feeling in the total body here, have the sense of down. Really just sink it through the ground. A bit like a car wheel, underside, weight underside. This was really one of the key tenets of Tohei Sensei. Weight underside, weight underneath. You should sometimes refer to in terms of grounding or sinking. I prefer sinking's better. Sink your feeling through the ground. Sink down. Sink down. If I have a feeling like I exist on the ground rather than in the ground, the feeling's like this. But I really want to get a sense of down on the ground. This way. This way. This way. Good. And then we'll just finish with a more complex movement. This is just an Irimi Tenkan. So again, shifting the weight down and rotating to the back. Shifting in, rolling to the back. And with that, arms, just do what you like with them. They're not really a big concern in this case. We're not really looking at functionality, which is what the arms are really used for later. But in this case, just let them follow the body. They get dragged with the whole body. So stepping in, rolling back, and finding the ground. Good. Let's see. Okay, one really key point, also in almost all the exercises we'll do today, or actually all Aikido, don't look down. So really, in this case, don't look down as you do this. Yeah, I know it's really tempting to kind of check the feet and check the body. But once you do this, you just totally break the structure. So as soon as the neck drops, you break the sense of any sense of extension that you've got in the upper body. You'll lose it anyway. So if you check, you'll lose you'll lose what you're looking for. So don't check the body. Just have a sense of feeling it. This way. So this sense of awareness of the body is purely on feeling. It's not on looking. It's not on how you look. It's how you actually feel the body. So really get a sense of extension through the spine and really check this feeling. Don't look down. Keep the extension up through the body, right up through the eyes, and reach out. And if you struggle with it, just find a spot on the wall or something to just aim at. And just keep the length this way. Good. Now it's better. Good, good, good. Very good. Great. Yeah. Okay, the other thing is go from stillness into movement. So one of the tendencies, especially in this kind of repetitive exercise, also in terms of the Saburi work, in terms of repetitive, don't think of this in terms of repetitive. Think of this as just one move, and then you complete it. And really go to a sense of stillness, and then move into it. So really go from stillness to movement. But be careful of just kind of, I feel constantly movement. This is okay, but I really never get the sense of stability, security, groundedness, and then movement from stillness, which is really the key to almost all the forms we do is going from this state of really calm, really still, really, and then wham, coming into a movement. So really get a sense that each time you're going to finish, ground, relax, keep away, and then go. So really take your time with it. It doesn't have to be a long pause, but you do need to really find a sense of stillness. And then that stillness is actually going to bleed into the movement. So you want this sense of the old paradox is stillness in motion. This is really what you want to develop. This is the best way to do it. Really still, calm, move. Move. Good. Okay, and the last exercise we'll do here just is the same, but you're just going to move in any direction. So keeping a sense of movement into stillness, just move anywhere you like. Still, move, still, move, still, move. And just move however you like, using the arms as you like. Nice and free. So just anywhere you like. Good. Good. Nice, nice. Good. Very good. Keep going. Good. Good. Okay, now just as a kind of exercise, this is a kind of inhibiting exercise. One of the tendencies is as I move to a position and then I fall into the next move. And I only go that direction because I'm actually out of balance in that direction. And then I'm going to fall into it. You have the sense that you're going to move somewhere, decide to go somewhere, and then go somewhere else instead. So decide to go somewhere or to the back and then go somewhere else. So go to the opposite direction to the one you want to do. Okay? Because usually the direction I want to go to is the direction I'm falling forward into. I want to go forward. But actually, I really need to be in a position where I can move in any direction. So have the sense of whichever way you thought you were going to go somewhere else. Just shift it. Go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. And really get a sense that the body's totally in balance and that you can flexibly move anywhere. This way. Just play with it. So kind of go the wrong direction. Yeah, good. Okay. Nice. Great. And then just the last 30 seconds, just move totally emotionless. So rolling through and don't stop. And just keep the pelvis, the center, the relationship to the ground down, sinking weight down, but just really flexible in the footwork. So just curling, rolling, however you like. And again, using the arms as you like. Just roll. Just a second. Just stay really into it. And really feel the whole body, as much as the back as the ground. And in this case, try not to stop at all. So you're doing kind of don't, and then go. In this case, really just keep moving. So the body, the pelvis, constantly in motion. So the key is that the center is constantly working, constantly active. So wherever you go, the center is constantly moving, and it doesn't stop. Keep the feeling in the pelvis, the hips, the back, lower back, and just keep pressing space with it. Keep the relationship down to the ground and coil through the movement. Really don't stop. Yeah, good. That's it. Really nice. Yeah, that's it. Good. 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 Okay, good. Just slowly come to a stop. Just stand. Just going to stand in this position. So the heels together, feet out, slightly splayed with the feet, and just feel the whole body sinking down to the mat, into the mat, into the ground. This way. Nice, relaxed arms. So really a sense of the ground, the back of the body, and the extension up through the torso. These are the three main things to work with. We'll carry on next session. Okay, we'll stop there and take a break. Bye. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Okay, we'll take a